The best putters in the world get 4 things right when they make putts: a perfect setup, a perfect stroke, a perfect speed, and a perfect direction. Seymour's patented and proven rifle scope technology putting system helps golfers improve all 4 areas. Here's how. First, get in a comfortable posture. Square the face to the target line using the putter's alignment line. Then hide the red dot. Doing these 3 things will set you up in an optimal stance, square to the putter, square to the target line, and with your head, shoulders, hips, and hands in alignment. Now you're locked onto the target, like radar, free to putt with confidence the same way every time. Take your game to the next level by becoming a great putter with a Seymour.
All right, Ms. Galvin, this is your golf lesson today. So from 2 different angles, and we've got a few things to work on today. So as in the driving range session in the fall, as you swing the golf club back, your typical swing is not that much of a weight shift, more of a turn, and you turn your body, upper body, shoulders, towards the ball first before there's really any shift. You see how the hips haven't moved,
right.
Your right foot hasn't gotten off the ground. So it's more of a rotation first rather than a shift first. All right, and that brings the golf club outside to the in. So there's your intended target line, and that makes that golf path come from, there. You would see a -4, -5 club path, right? And you'd also see it negative, a steep angle. You can see how steeply that comes into the golf ball when you're outside the in. Okay, so different golf swing, but you can also see now what the weight is doing. Right, so there's pretty much you at the top of the backswing. And you don't necessarily, you make the shift there, but then it kind of really just stops and it starts to take over where you're flipping the golf club over left. And at impact, you can just see right there the weight is at 50-50 instead of 80-20. Right? Now I think here, as we did some work, all right, so here's what we call the reach drill. So you're going to see that. You're going to see yourself shift more, right, and get more into that right side. Sort of. Still. See, there's all your swings that we kind of captured. I went the opposite way. There was one here that we kind of captured that was more over. All right, but we're looking at, when you get to the top of your backswing, you want to go from the right heel to left toe, right heel to left toe, pushing off, right, making right heel to left toe go that way, right heel to left toe sort of that way, not the opposite way where it goes right toe to left heel. Right, and that's going to drop you in when we had you. I'll send that other picture over to you when I can download it at a faster speed. But we had you doing that motion where I just had you do those half down swings. You were coming. You're coming in this way, right, rather than outside. When you're doing those little half pumps, it was dropping you in and going. So right heel, left toe will make your golf swing go inside out. Yeah. Right. Drop your hands. Before you swing forward. So you want to drop your hands out of the circle this way. And there's the turn first. turning away. Right, and that's making everything steep and left. Hence that. Right, we go in here, we go shallow and go this way. Right, that's going to spin the ball. Hidden draws.
Rory McIlroy is only 5'9", 161 pounds. But in the U.S. Open, he bombed his drives an average of over 310 yards. Our question is, how does a golfer Rory's size get so much length off the tee? The key to generating distance is what's called the kinetic chain, drawing energy from the ground up through the legs, through the torso, into the arms, and into the club. And in the middle of that kinetic chain is a critical link, the hips. And it's Rory's extraordinary hip action that caught the eye of Dr. Greg Rose. At the Titleist Performance Institute, Dr. Rose has worked with many of the world's best golfers, including Rory, using technology to analyze aspects of the golf swing that are difficult to see with the naked eye.
Rory's got that beautiful tempo, but as he comes through impact, all of a sudden something very different happens, which makes a lot of us sports science guys look at this and go, wow, what's going on there? If we look at hip speed, most amateurs are around 300 to 350 degrees per second. That's how fast they're rotating. Most tour players are around 550 degrees. Rory gets to this amazing 720 degrees per second on the downswing.
What's truly remarkable about Rory's hip acceleration is that it has another gear, reverse.
So if I'm looking at anatomy, you got to understand your abdominals, they run diagonally. Those are called your oblique abdominals. They start on your rib cage and they run down to your pelvis. So in essence, it's like a rubber band attached to either side. And as that rubber band is contracting, it's going to grab both sides and pull them closer together. So in Rory's case, those abdominals fire so hard, it actually takes his lower body and it actually spins in the opposite direction. Right there, it's actually moving 377 degrees per second the opposite direction, which is just crazy.
In other words, for a split second, Rory's hips actually move backward faster than most golfers ever move their hips forward. This reverse rotation is extremely rare. Out of the hundreds of pros he's analyzed, Dr. Rose has only seen it a handful of times. And while it isn't the key to Rory's length, it's an amazing indicator of the intense torque Rory uses to generate ball speeds of over 175 miles per hour, among the fastest in the world. Of course, Rory McIlroy didn't win the U.S. Open just by being long off the tee. His ball striking helped him set the Open record, hitting an amazing 62 out of 72 greens in regulation. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.
Well, the most important thing in a golf swing to me is the movement of the lower body from the top of the swing. And if you don't mind, I'll demonstrate. First off, you start down below with your knees and your hips. At the top of the swing, you move the lower part of your body, not your shoulders, the lower part of your body, letting your arms and hands follow, bringing you into position to hit. But this is the first movement there. Then you release at the bottom. Most people do it entirely opposite. They rotate their shoulders first instead of their lower body. As a result, they come across the ball and hit the outside of the ball instead of the back of it. If you don't mind, I'll hit a ball, and the first thing to watch is what starts first from the top of the swing.